So I welcome you all in this evening session. The topic that we are going to deal is structure of United Nation. So here, this will be the presentation outline. First, we will just know the mission of United Nation and the preamble of United Nation, what the preamble of United Nation says to us. Secondly, we will go through the actions and priorities set by United Nation. Third, we will move to the structure of United Nations. Fourth, we will just see some of the funds and programs that are established by United Nations. And at the last, or at fifth, we will just see the specialized agencies of United Nations. It is just 20 to 25-minute presentations, so we will just go in brief. We can go in detail in this presentation. Okay, in the first slide, or in the first, at the first, we will see about the mission and the preamble of the United Nations Charter. The mission of United Nations is that the mission and the work of United Nations are guided by the purposes and the principle contained in its founding charter signed on 26 June 1945 in San Francisco at the conclusion of United Nations Conference of International Organization and came into force on 24 October 1945. There are 19 chapters and 111 articles in United Nations Charter. So to tell briefly about United Nations is an organization that was established by the many countries, around 55 nations, mainly to end the Second World War. There was the similar organization known as League of Nations, which was just established after the First World War from 1914 to 1918. And after the Second World War began, due to dissolvement of that League of Nations could not prevent the Second World War, because there was unfair type of treaty known as the Treaty of Versailles, in which the Germany was penalized so badly, so that there was the rise of a leader known as Adolf Hitler, so that took the Second World War. And that's to end that Second World War, we just began in 1939 and ended in 1945. There was one collaboration of organization known as United Nations. First, there were only 55 nations to just initiate this organization for preventing from world war and to just maintain security and peace around the globe. So the main missions of this United Nations is, according to the purposes and according to the principle contained by the founding charter of United Nations, which are signed on 26 June 1945 in San Francisco, in the collaboration of around 55 nations. And then that charter of United Nations was just signed by one conference known as National Conference on International Organization, and that came into effective from 24th October 1945. It includes 19 chapters and 111 articles. So the preamble, or the introductory part or initial part of this United Nations Charter said the mainly four type of provisions: that the mission, the purpose of establishing this United Nation was to save the succeeding generations for the scourge of war, which twice takes in our lifetime has brought untold sorrow to mankind. So the first purpose of this building United Nations as an international organization was to stop the scourge of war, the destruction and devastation by the two wars, First World War and Second World War, in the lifetime that held that brought untold sorrow to mankind, that the sorrow that brought by the consequences brought by the two world war were so much disgusting and so much sorrowful or painful. So the first priority or first mission of building this United Nations is to prevent the such type of wars, the wars like First World War and Second World War. Second, to reframe faith in fundamental human rights, in the dignity and the worth of human person, in equal rights of men and women, of the nations of large and small. Second, things that United Nation was built is for establishing human right, reframing human right, and just maintaining the equality between men's and women's of different nation, whether it be the small nation or whether it be the large nation. The third mission of United Nations according to the UN Charter Preamble is that to establish the condition under which justice and respect for the obligation arising from treaties to other sources of international law can be maintained. So the third purpose or third mission of United Nations establishment was to establish the different types of condition under the justice, the condition that are just and respectful for the obligation that are compulsory arising from the different types of treaties, that the treaties that are obligatory, that are binding to the nation among the nation which the treaties take place. So the and other international sources of law can be maintained. So the third mission or purpose of building United Nations was to just maintaining international justice by just obligating the nations through the treaties and just another other sources of law for making the international system peaceful and just. The fourth purpose of United Nations is to promote the social progress and the better standards of life in large freedom. The fourth point of United Nations Charter Preamble states that the United Nations was built for promotion of social progress. There must be progress or positive change in the cultures and for the better standard of life, for the dignity of life, for the freedom of life, and for the prosperity of people and being living for the just, peaceful, and harmonious society. So now we have just reviewed through the missions that are listed, enumerated in the preamble of United Nations Charter. Now we will move to the next slide in which we can see the actions and the priorities of United Nations that are set by UN bodies. So the slogan of United Nations is like this: peace, dignity, and equality on the healthy planet. So the slogan says that United Nations themes work for the peace, it works for the dignity of human life, it works for the equality between any kinds of gender or caste or religion or any nation, whether it be large or small, and just making this planet a healthy planet. So there are mainly the three pillars, just like while building a structure of house, we need the pillars to support the house and to strengthen the just physical infrastructure of house. Likewise, United Nations, this organization is supported by or has the three pillars known as security, human rights, and development. So peace and security is the first priority or first pillar of United Nations. Second one is for advocacy of human rights, and the third one pillar for that initiated by United Nations is development. In the sense of development in the communities, societies, states, or nation, United Nations also takes action on the issues confronting humanity in 21st century, such as peace, security, climate change, sustainable development, human rights, disarmament, terrorism, humanitarian and health emergencies, gender equality, governance, food production, and many more types of such types of issues. So you can understand easily that United Nations just work or take action in these types of issues. You know that peace, which is the absence of violence or absence of conflict in the society. Second, security, to safeguard any nation or any territory from the external affairs or from the violent types of attacks. Third thing, climate change. You know that climate change is a you can say it is a one type of environmental issue. Many scientists claim that it is the natural types of issue, but the impact of climate change has both negative and positive types of impacts. There are few positive type of impacts due to climate change, but there are heavily or there are more negative type of impacts such as global warming, depletion of ozone layers, and many more are the just impact of climate change. Sustainable development, you know that the development should sustain and the development should be in such a manner that the present generation should not cut off the rights and the resource allocation for the future generation, which was given by the report known as Our Common Future in 1987 by the Brundtland Commission in the chairmanship of Gro Harlem Brundtland, Prime Minister of Norway. Then the human rights are those rights which necessarily are the rights of a human as being the human, the rights that cannot be just snatched from human, the rights which are just common for all, and the right which humans should gain or humans should claim being as a human. So disarmament is the issue that is currently very debatable and that is discourseable at the present scenario. This disarmament means that there should not be the nuclear of mass destruction. There should not be many nuclear weapons that they just destruct or they just destroys a large territory or large population. So there should not be further nuclear weapons, weapons of mass destruction. This that destruction, destructive weapons should be cut off. So these issues, UN also take action with the issues of disarmament. Terrorism, you know that there are many terrorist attacks like 9/11 by, and there are many terrorist attack in whether in India, sometimes in Sri Lanka, sometimes in New Zealand, you might have heard in media. So the humanitarian and health emergencies, like you can see the pandemic like coronavirus at present, many Spanish flus or SARS or MERS, which are also under the family of this coronavirus. So there are many humanitarian issues such as the issue of poverty, the issues of unemployment. So UN just take actions for these types of issues. And there are the issues of gender equality, that all there should not be discrimination between male and female. And for the better governance, for the good governance, United Nations just take action in it. And for the production of food and many more other type of issues, as that you already know the importance of food after this pandemic, that every person needs food for their survival, but there are many people in the world who are facing from hunger. They have not got their proper balanced diet or food for their survival. So United Nations just work and take action in these types of issues. And currently in the development sector, currently there are 17 SDGs goal set by United Nations for achieving from 2016 to 2030, as United Nations has just initiated MDG Millennium Corporation goals from 2000 to 2015. There were 8 goals set, and a few of them were little achieved from that MDG initiation, and just United Nations, all 193 countries of United Nations unite together for the common issues of war and just ending the issues such as poverty, ending the issues of quality education, and just for the better health, for the energy, and all type of 70 types of goal are enumerated by the 74th United Nations General Assembly meeting in 2015 September, and Nepal have also adopted the same 17 goals for implementing by 2030 and in under the leadership of UNDP, United Nations Development Program. So these are the priorities and the action issues that United Nations take actions. So the structure of United Nations as mainly build of six type of organs. The organs of United Nations are: the first organ is General Assembly, the second one is the Security Council, third one is the Economic and Social Council, fourth one is the Trusteeship Council, fifth one is International Court of Justice, and the sixth one organ of United Nations is United Nations Secretariat. So all these 7 types of organs of United Nations were just established or funded in 1945 after ending the Second World War. So we'll move to one by one. The first organ of United Nations is United Nations General Assembly. United Nations General Assembly is the main or deliberative policy making and representative organ of United Nations, as all 193 member states of United Nations are represented in the General Assembly, making it only the UN body with the universal representation. So you can say that this United Nations General Assembly is the organ in which all the members of United Nations, all 193 of 93 members of United Nations are the parties or are the representatives. So it is the just deliberative. It just deliberates many types of policies, and it just represents the representation of states in the United Nations organs. So this one is the first organ known as United Nations General Assembly. And regarding United Nations General Assembly, the Conference of United Nations General Assembly takes in the 3rd September of every year, and it take year by year of and the nation 193 nation of the whole world unite together for the conference, and they just make policies, and they just represent their nation to the this conference in each September, in each 3rd of the September, maybe in the Tuesday. So the second organ of United Nations is Security Council, United Nations Security Council. United Nations Security Council has a primarily responsibility under United Nations Charter for the maintenance of international peace and security. So this United Nations Security Council takes chief actions in the issues of peace and security maintenance, and there are 15 members in United Nations Security Council. As we have already mentioned, that there are 193 are all registered members in United Nations in the United Nations General Assembly, but there are only 15 members in which represents to the United Nations Security Council, the next or another organ of United Nations. The 5 members are permanent members known as the member like USA, UK, Russia and China and France are the permanent members, or they are the veto powers. They have a power of negative votes. If they vote, the whole other are in the favor, and if any 5 of this member are in not favor, then the action will not take place. So that power is known as veto power, and there are 10 non-permanent members of the United Nations, which has the term period of 2 years, and Nepal has also took the chance of being the member of Security Council, temporary member of Security Council twice in the history of Nepal or in the history of United Nations. So there are 15 members in United Nations Security Council. Security Council is mainly concerned with the issues of peace and security, whether it may be of the actions taken such as sanctions to any nation which violates international laws and international terms and conditions, whether it takes or whether it take the decision of deploying the United Nations peacekeeping operations, which are controlled by United Nations Security Council. So each member has one vote, whether it be a United Nations Security Council or whether it be the United Nations General Assembly. Many policies or many laws must be passed from United Nations General Assembly. So the one country, one nation has only one vote. It is same in the United Nations Security Council, where there are only 15 member nations. Under this chapter, all member states are obliged to comply with the council decisions. So all the nation of whether the nation are from United Nations General Assembly or around the world, all the members of world are just obliged, or they are forced to obey the decision formulated by United Nations Security Council, because they are the veto powers and they are the global superpowers in the world, and if any actions are taken by them, then the world should obey, or world should just accept that decisions. So it's like there was one type of decision in the 1949 that Nepal wanted to be the member of United Nations, but all the states were just agreed for the membership of Nepal, but Russia was not against favor of this membership grant by the Nepal. So Nepal could not be the member of United Nations in the first attempt in 1949, but later on Russia was convinced by United Kingdom and United States of America. Then Nepal grant the membership of UN in 1955 December 14. So only these five members of United Nations, as I've already said, that China, America, USA, UK, and France have that veto power to cancel the decision of this committee, which are taken by United Nations Security Council. So this much about United Nations Security Council. Now we'll move to the ECOSOC. ECOSOC is Economic and Social Council, which is the principal body for coordination and policy review and policy dialogues and recommendation on economic, social, and environmental issues. So this ECOSOC, Ecological, Economic, and Social Council just is a principal body in coordination. It coordinates, it just reviews the policies and other dialogues and all the recommendation in the sector of economy. It advocates in the sector of social sectors and the environmental issues such as climate change, such as the issues of global warming, as well as the implementation of internationally agreed development goals. So there are many types of commitment that are agreed by international community. So this organization, Economic and Social Council, just work as the implementation body for the goals or the treaties that are signed internationally. So the fourth organ of United Nations is Trusteeship Council. The Trusteeship Council was also established in 1945 by the United Nations Charter, and under the Chapter 13 of United Nations Charter, to provide the international supervision for the 11 trust territories that have been placed under the administration of 7 member states, and ensure that adequate steps were taken to prepare the territories for the self-governance and self-independence. So the main or prime focus of this organ of United Nations was to just make the territories or land independent and self-governing, that many territories or many lands were colonized by the European nations. So the main purpose of this organ of United Nations was to decolonize that colonized nation and to establish self-governance and independence in that nation. And now this United Nations Trusteeship Council of United Nations, one of the organ of United Nations, this is inactive organ because there are no any nation that are in colonized form at the present scenario of world. So now we will move to next slide, and we can see the one of the main organ of United Nations is the International Court of Justice, that is ICJ. The International Court of Justice is the principal judicial organ that just seek for the judicial reviews by the states or the countries or nation of the world, which is the one of the organ of the United Nations. It sits in at the Peace Palace in the Hague, Netherlands. It is the only one of the six principal organ of United Nations that is not located in United Nations or New York. Other five organ of United Nations are located in United States of America, that is they are in the New York, but this International Court of Justice is in the Netherlands, Hague. So in this United International Court of Justice, there are 15 judges for the term of 9 years. And the interesting thing about International Court of Justice is that the issues that are internationalized or the issues that are globalized are taken to that court, which is in Netherlands, Hague, but it needs the consensus or agreement of both the nations. Likewise, there was one issue in Nepal, the issue border dispute issue between Nepal and India, the issue of Limpiadura Lipu Lake. But for taking that matter or taking that dispute in International Court of Justice, first the two parties should made one type of consensus or agreement that both the parties, India and Nepal, are want to internationalize or want to fix their border issues from this International Court of Justice. Without the permission of Nepal or without the permission of India, no, a single party cannot just go for just appeal for United Nations, this judicial organ of United Nations known as International Court of Justice. So the sixth organ of United Nations is Secretariat. The Secretariat comprise of Security Council, so Secretary General, and the 10,000s of international UN staffs who carry out a day-to-day work of United Nations mandated by General Assembly and the organization as a principal, this organization, other organization as a principal organ. So Secretariat is the administrative organ of United Nations. It implements and it just implement and executes the decisions and policies formulated by United Nations General Assembly. So the present General Secretary of United Nations is Antonio Guterres, which is in the term, or which is in the his tenure from January 1, 2017, and the United Nations Secretary General have the term of 5 years. So we will move to next slide. These are the funds and program of United Nations. One of the fund and program of United Nations is UNDP, that is United Nations Development Program. This is its headquarters is situated at United States, New York. It just is a program that nearly 170 countries and the territories are helping to eradicate or just elevate poverty, equalities, gender equalities, inequalities, reducing inequalities, and building the resilience so the countries sustain progress. And United Nations Development Agency, UNDP, plays a critical role in helping countries to achieve the sustainable development goals. As I have already mentioned earlier, that there are 17 SDGs sustainable development goals just initiated by United Nations, and the UNDP, United Nations Development Program, is a chief body for just executing SDGs. Similarly, there is a next type of program known as United Nations Environmental Program. Its headquarters is in Nairobi, Kenya, and this was established in 1972 after the establishment of United Nations, and it is the voice, it is the organ which advocates the voice for the environmental issues in the United Nations system, and UNEP acts as a catalyst to advocate and equator and facilitate the step facilitate to promote the wise use of sustainable development of the global environment. So it's this body or this program is mainly concerned with the environmental issues. It just advocates for the preservation and conservation of environment and just protection of environment. Second is the UNFPA, is the which headquarter is situated in United States of America, New York, and it is the fund, one type of fund which is led by UN agency for delivering the world, where every pregnancy is wanted, every birth is safe, and every young person is potent or filled. So this organization, this program of United Nations works for the successful delivery of children's, and for the safe birth of children, and for the energetic and potential young persons. Similarly, there is next type of fund and program under United Nations, that is UN Habitat, is headquarters is again in Nairobi, Kenya, and this is the mission of United Nations for the settlement programs, is to promote the socially and environmentally sustainable human settlements and the development and the achievements of adequate shelter for all. So this UN Habitat gives habitat or shelter to the different people that have not got that haven't get any shelter in the parts or territories of the world. See, likewise, there is another program of UN called Unicef. Its headquarters is also again in New York of United States of America. Unicef work in 190 countries and territories to save about the children's life and to defend their rights and to help them to fulfill the potential rights and every childhood through the adolescence. So this UNICEF advocates the rights of children. This work in the field of children's. So next type of organization that is under organization or United Nations fund or program under United Nations is UFP, which headquarters is again in Italy. It is the World Food Program, which just advocate for eradication of hunger and malnutrition from the world. It is the world's largest humanitarian agency, and every year the program feeds around 80 millions of people around 75 countries. So to end the hunger of the world, every year that this program for providing the sustenance in the food is just feeding around 80 million people around 75 nations or countries of the world. So these are the funds and programs established under the United Nations. So these are the specialized agencies of United Nations. The first one is Food and Agriculture Organization, FAO, which works in the sector of food and agriculture, which has a headquarters in Rome. Second is International Civil Aviation Organization, ICAO, which is the headquarters is in Montreal. It works in the field of civil aviation and aircraft, just airways. Third, specialized organization of United Nations is the International Fund for Agricultural Development, IFAD, and similarly, likewise, there are 15 specialized organs of United Nations. ILO has a headquarters in Geneva. IMO, which has a headquarters in London. IMO is the International Maritime Organization, which works in the field of international seas, for routing the areas of seas that to which country the sea belongs. It just scans the boundaries of the sea between different nations. So its headquarters is the UN specialized organization, which headquarters is in London. Similarly, there is International Montreal Fund organization established in United Nations under United Nations in Washington DC of USA, which works in the sector of monetary policy and just balancing the world economic order. The seventh organization is ITU, International Telecommunication Union, which is headquartered in Geneva. It works in the sector of telecommunication. The next eighth specialized organization of United Nations is UNESCO, which is headquartered in Paris. The UNESCO is the organ which works in the sector of education, scientific, and cultural values or issues. And UNESCO is the organization specialized Organization of United Nations, which are just listed many of the monuments and many of the heritage of Nepal in the international world heritage. So the ninth type of specialized organ in United Nations is UNITO, which work in the field of industrial development which has the headquarters in Vienna. The 10th specialized organ is Universal Postal Union, which works in the field of postal mails, which is just not active at present. It is headquarters is in Bern. And 11th United Nations specialized agency is World Bank. World Bank has the group subgroup called IBRD, IFC, and IDA, and its headquarters is also in Washington DC, USA. And the 12th specialized organization of UN is WHO. You all know about WHO. You can see in media also, which is headquartered in Geneva. Likewise, there is the International Specialized Organization of UN for the Intellectual Property Rights. Its headquarters is in Geneva again. That organization is WIPO, and it just deals with the copyright, patent rights, and the brandings and all things that are related to the intellectual property right. The 14th specialized agency of United Nations is World Meteorological Organization (WMO), which is in Geneva. It works in the field of climate change and in the sector of climate and in the sector of weather. The 15th organization, specialized organization of United Nations is United Nations World Tourism Organization. It is headquartered in Madrid. It works in the sector of tourism. We have less than 1 minute. If you have any question, then please you may ask. Otherwise, our presentation is this much. If you have any question regarding United Nations that I have discussed just now, you can ask question. I can also reply your question in group. We have less than 1 minute remain. Thank you all for your attendance and good night now. I'm going to end this session if you don't have any questions. Thank you.